Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Sean Kelly. I'm a professor of astronomy in the Earth and Planetary Sciences Department at Santa Barbara City College, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what's in the night sky. Today is May 19th, 2020. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by looking at a program that I really love to use called Stellarium. It's free, and you can even get to it from a web browser. Here is Stellarium, and I've made it so that we won't see too much landscape, but we're going ahead and looking at the sun is setting. It's about 7 o'clock in the 7:30 in the evening, and we're going to go ahead and make the sun go down. And I want to point out to you something right behind the sun will begin to appear. This is a little bit after 8 o'clock. You'll see there's a bright spot in the sky, and it's above the setting sun. It's not Mercury, it's Venus. It is not going to be here for much longer. So now is your chance. You want to look for a nice open exposure. If you can see the sunset, you'll be able to see this. And I'd like to show you that over the next couple of days, something very interesting is going to happen. You're going to see that Mercury and Venus are going to get closer together. This is the 21st, and about 8:30, let's put it to about 8:30, and you can see I can still see the light of the sun. It's still twilight. But if you zoom in, you'll be able to notice that Mercury and Venus are very close together in the sky. This is probably going to be a really special thing to see. They're about 1 degree apart, separating each other, 1 degree apart. That's a neat thing to see. Now, as you go a little bit later, the stars will begin to appear. And I'd like to talk to you about the stars that you'll see in the sky. And so here are the stars. Now, I'll go ahead and turn off the atmosphere to make it even easier to see. So about where we were looking in this part of the sky, if you look up and to the right, you'll see a very bright star called Capella. Now, Capella actually means goat in Latin, and this is the mama goat. And nearby, if you have good eyes, you'll be able to see 3 little stars nearby, and those are known as the kids. So these are a part of a constellation that is called Auriga, the Charioteer. So I can actually show you the constellations in this program, Auriga, the Charioteer, and the Charioteer, would come home in the evening and take care of his goat. So that's Capella, the mama goat. Let's see, nearby we have some more stars to look at. There are a pair of twin stars right here, and this is Castor on the right and Pollux on the left. And these 2 stars are the twin brothers of Gemini, Gemini the twins. And just to round it off, we have another star, very bright star here called Procyon. Procyon is the only bright star in a very small constellation with just 2 stars, which is called Canis Minor, the little dog. So let's go ahead and turn on our constellations again. So we've got Auriga, we have Gemini, the twins, with brothers Castor and Pollux, right? And we have Procyon, which is part of the constellation Canis Minor, the little dog. So that's in the western part of the sky. Let's go ahead and zoom back just a bit and look high in the sky. Look high in the sky. And we want to look for a shape. Over here we have a backwards question mark. That backwards question mark is Leo the lion, right? Or the beginning, the front of Leo the lion. So here's the front of the lion, and the star is known as Regulus, and the tail star is called Denebola. Denebola. Oops, not getting Denebola. Let's try it again. Denebola. No, still not getting it. No. All right. There we go. Denebola. Just had to zoom in. Okay. So those are the stars of Leo the lion. Okay, so now let's turn off our lines and see if you can spot them with me, okay? So we have the western part of the sky, we have Capella, we have Castor, Pollux, and Procyon, and up here there is a backwards question mark, and we're gonna find Regulus at the base of the backwards question mark. The Denebola will be the star at the tail. Now let's turn around to the northern part of the sky, and I'm going to teach you how to know that it's in fact the northern part of the sky. I'm going to zoom way out and look high up in the sky, and I want to see this shape right here. And most of you will recognize this as the Big Dipper. It is Ursa Major, the Great Bear, the Big Dipper. And we're going to go ahead and use the Big Dipper to help us, okay? So the Big Dipper has a handle right here, and it has a bowl right here that you would use. And a dipper is just a big spoon, basically. So this is the spoon. It's upside down right now. But we're going to use these two stars right here to help us to find Polaris. So the technique I'm teaching you is called pointing to Polaris by using the Big Dipper. We take these two stars, and this is going to be our footstep. We're going to take 5 steps. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we have the star Polaris, which is also called the North Star. So the North Star is found by taking 5 steps from the end of this dipper for the Big Dipper, and now you have it. Now, the Little Dipper, which Polaris is the end of, is going to have a bunch of faint stars with 2 bright stars at the end, Kochab and Faircat. Okay, I actually didn't know that, but anyways, here we go. Let's turn on our line. And so we have Ursa Major, the Great Bear, which is also included within it, the Big Dipper, and then Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. Now, actually, I wasn't going to mention it, but there's a really cool constellation that wraps around the Little Dipper, which is called Draco the Dragon. See if you can find that one. Now, I do want to show you a couple of other little tricks that are great for beginning astronomers. We found that the bowl points us to Polaris, but what about the handle? And so it turns out we have a really cool trick with the handle of the Big Dipper. This is an arc. It has a curve to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that arc, and we're going to follow it. And we're going to arc to Arcturus. So the astronomers all say, arc to Arcturus, which is the brightest star you can see that kind of follows that curve of the handle. So Arcturus is the brightest star in a constellation known as Boötes, the Herdsman. So after we arc to Arcturus, we're going to go sideways right now. Later in the season, it'll be vertical. But I'm going to just tell you that right now we're going to go sideways, and we spike to Spica. Spica is in the constellation of Virgo, the Virgin. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on our lines again, and we'll see this constellation. So we have arc to Arcturus. We follow the handle of the Big Dipper, arc to Arcturus, and you get this shape right here. It looks like a kite, but we actually gave it a different name. It's called the ice cream cone. And if you like McConnell's ice cream, here's the cone right here, and there's a big scoop. Okay, just a secret, most people don't know, but I used to work for McConnell's. That's why I mentioned it. Okay, so Arcturus is at the base of this ice cream cone. And then we have spike to Spica, and Spica is kind of at the end of the hand of Virgo, the Maiden. Okay, there's lots and lots of other constellations, but I want to highlight just 2 more right now for you. There is a very, very bright star that you'll see rising in the eastern part of the sky, and it's a star called Vega. So Vega is actually a pretty neat constellation, a part of a neat constellation known as Lyra the Harp. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but I do want to show you a little trick. If you can find Vega and you draw a line to Arcturus, you'll notice that we go through 2 different constellations. This one right here, Corona Borealis, which means the northern, Borealis means northern, Corona means crown, the northern crown, and Hercules, the Strongman. So as I'm going to turn off these, and I want to try this with you. If you go from Vega to Arcturus, you pass 2 different shapes. So one is a curve of stars, and this is Corona Borealis. And the next one is this shape right here. So this shape is a little wider here and a little narrower here, is known as the Keystone. So if you look up in arches, Roman arches, the stone at the top is known as the Keystone, and that's the core of Hercules. So I just want to finish off with a very, very beautiful special thing. In Hercules is one of my favorite objects to look at in the sky. and it's a Messier object known as M13. And so if you get the opportunity, you want to zoom in and take a look. You can see it with binoculars, but really the best view is with a telescope. This is M13, which is a globular cluster. So I want to just show you another picture of this. And this is something that you can actually find if you are a fan already, then you know about this. But there is something called the Astronomy Picture of the Day. And this was March 19th of this year. And here it is, the most beautiful M13. This is a globular cluster, which is an old cluster of stars. These stars have been around, we think, at least as long as the Milky Way has existed, 13 billion years. And so they're made up of old stars, and these stars are lower mass stars that tend to live much, much longer than higher mass stars. So that's just a little taste of what we see in our sky. And thank you for hanging out with me. And maybe we'll do it again. Take care. And please hope for clear skies. Bye.